Turn the mics on, let the games begin. We're diving deep, it's where I've always been. Got the stats laid out, knowledge on tap. It's the press box, baby, we're making it rap. From the field to the court, we cover it all. When the whistle blows, hear the players call. Voices raised high with opinions that rock. In this hard rock world, we're smashing the clock. Welcome to the press box. Let's raise some hell. We're rocking every story. Come and hear us tell. With passion and fury, we light up the night. This hard rock anthem, it feels so right.
Good evening. Welcome to another edition of the Press Box. Brian Carson here with my co-host Kenny Varner. What's up, Kenny V?
Not a lot. Kind of like rainy days as things slows down and you can actually catch up on things.
Yeah, true. Pretty much one of those lazy days, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
We are here first time this season. We have special guest, Mifflin County baseball coach Ray Hoppel. Ray is the pride of Northern Cambria High School and the number one physics teacher at Mifflin County, teaching us all about Max Planck and things like that. All right. Welcome, Ray. How you doing, buddy?
I'm doing well. How are you guys tonight?
Not too bad. You see that?
Good.
We got our own theme music, Ray.
I you know what? Hey, you got to start somewhere, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
We're all right. We're hanging in there. So let's start off. Not a bad season so far. 9-5. I saw the District 6 rankings, number one there. Talk about so far. What were your expectations and what you think about the team and are they where you thought they would be right now at this point in the season?
Well, to be honest, going into the season, I think everybody goes into the season with a lot of high expectations and most coaches tend to, think pretty positively about their squad and I'm no exception. We had several returning starters from last year, but we certainly had some questions with the pitching staff. We had a pretty solid group of pitchers last year that kind of had to carry us because offensively we had our struggles. But we're hitting the ball a little bit better this year, and the pitching has come along. And as opposed to maybe relying on 5 guys to pitch this year, it's kind of maybe been 3 or 4. But all in all, it's working out for us. I mean, we've had our blips just like anybody else, but the fact is that we've been pretty consistent the last couple of weeks, and I kind of like where we are right now. I mean, we're winning close games. We're learning how to win close games, and I told the team yesterday at the end of the game that a lot of times there's teams that will go into the playoffs and they have these great records and weren't really challenged. Well, that's not going to be us. I mean, we're going to know how to play a close ball game, and I'm hoping that pays some dividends for us in the postseason.
Yeah, I saw, you were saying about losing some pitching, but the pitching hasn't been that bad. I saw you, but you've had a shutout. You're not giving up a lot of runs. So you got to be pleased with that aspect of your game, since that was the question mark coming in.
There's no question about that. I mean, we have an ERA just a hair under 2 right now, and we have Chase Hartung had a real nice outing for us yesterday, and Parker Crownover came in and closed the game, and those 2 guys are having really solid years. Madden Weaver is seeing a little bit more time on the mound this year. His ERA is currently in the right around the mid twos. And Thad Gerwick, who didn't get any varsity innings last year, has come into some really big situations for us. The most recent one probably, he got out of a bases loaded, nobody out jammed out at Cumberland Valley a little over a week ago, and kind of got us to win that ball game. So, I mean, all of these guys have had big innings for us. We even had Liam Schaefer came in and threw a shutout against Mount Union, and he hasn't really been a regular part of our rotation for the year, but he did a real nice job. And even Wyatt Parks threw a one run on 6 hits up at Blair County last week. So all in all, I'm pretty pleased with the pitching that we're getting.
Offensively, it seems like you have a very, very tough lineup. You never know who's going to step up from one game to the next, and you gotta like that where you're getting progress from maybe your 7th or 8th batter, or another game you're in a 2nd and 3rd. How important is that right now?
Well, obviously, as the season plays out, guys make a name for themselves in the lineup, and right now, our 2 top hitters are Jaden Smith and Carl Shirey, and they're starting to get. I mean, Jay was a first team all conference as a sophomore, so teams know about him. But this is Carl's first year of varsity, but he's quickly becoming, we'll say, a household name within the league, and teams are figuring out ways to get him out. So if they're going to pitch around those guys, we need other guys to step up. And Chase Leister has had a real nice couple of weeks, and so has Thad Gerwick from the plate. Evan Strohecker just continues to be steady, and so you need to get those contributions from other spots, because, like I said, teams they're gonna work around those top guys, and you're ultimately going to be judged in wins and losses by how some of those guys that don't hit in the middle of the order do.
You're comment from the Berminator.
Old buddy Dave.
Yeah.
I appreciate the kind words, Dave. And, it's no secret that, the program had its struggles, I would say in the 5 or 6 years previous to when I took over. And I'm certainly not going to take credit for all of that. But, I have an outstanding staff that has worked their tail off. Brett Leister, Dan Kokendorfer, and Jeff Kanegi have been with me now for a couple of years, and the players have a lot of respect for those guys. They work really hard, and they have outstanding rapport with the team. But I even think, more importantly, our JV staff, Matt Shoemaker, Jamin Palladino, Nick Wolfkill, and Mike Ammon. I mean, those guys do a phenomenal job down there, preparing those guys for the expectations that I have for them at the varsity level. And so in order for the program itself to get it turned around, I mean, it certainly has to be a full program effort. And those guys at the JV level are top notch. I mean, I wouldn't want anyone else there.
Yeah, that helps, doesn't it, that Matt has varsity coaching experience. He coached Indian Valley for a while.
Yeah, he and I had our battles when I was coaching at Lewistown. So we go back a long way, and I have a ton of respect for the way he coaches and the way he prepares kids. And he's right down the hall from me, so we talk every morning. And he's a super valuable asset even for me to bounce ideas off of. And like I said, we talk strategy, we talk things all the time. And like I said, that's a huge part of our success.
I know you were at Lewistown with John Bell. Were you there for Culver?
I was. Yeah, I was a volunteer. I was a volunteer in '97, and then a paid assistant from '88 to 2001 with Mike. And then when John got the head job, I was an assistant with him for 3 years, and then took the team over in the fall of 2004.
So it's official. The three of us are old.
Yeah. Lots of experience in this podcast.
Yeah, yeah, because it's like when you're what? Well, hell, Kenny, we covered some of his coaches.
Hmm.
Leister, Kokendorfer, Wolfkill.
Mhm.
Yeah, yeah, that's scary. That's
Right now, it's like this is really I like it. It's really competitive. The District 6, you're like 9-5, and I think Altoona's 8-7, State 7-7. You split with State. You beat Altoona. Um, it makes you guys better, doesn't it? When you got all you guys in the district that close to each other playing competitive games.
There's no question about that. I mean, and District 6, the three of us is kind of a microcosm of what the Mid-Penn Commonwealth is this year. I mean, there is so much parity, and right now Chambersburg is winning the league, but I mean, and they were actually, if you read Penn Live predicted order of finish, they were picked to finish last, and so when I saw them yesterday, you look at them and you're saying, boy, this isn't a last place team. And, the team that was picked first was Cedar Cliff. They brought back 7 of 9 starters from a state championship team. And they beat us in the first game of a doubleheader, but then we kind of thumped them the second game. So it's literally when I say that anybody can beat anybody, I'm not saying that just as cliche. I mean, that's legit.
Yeah. And, the good thing is your schedule, 4 games left, 3 Mid-Penn games, and 3 of the 4 are at home. So that's nice, huh?
No question. We have Mechanicsburg coming up on Monday, and in my opinion, I feel like they're the best hitting team we've seen so far this year. We caught them on a day where we made some big plays defensively. I felt we won the game 6-1, but I don't think the game was that. I think it was closer than that. They really stung a bunch of balls, and so I fully expect a much closer game come Monday. And I'm not trying to shade our team. I'm kind of giving them credit because they're kind of hitting their stride right now. And then we have Cumberland Valley Wednesday. They're always tough, and then we have to go to Central Dauphin next Friday. And if we can take care of business Monday and Wednesday, which, I mean, there's a long way to go between now and then, we at least have a shot to at least share the league if we win on Friday.
Yeah, and you've already, Mechanicsburg, Cumberland Valley, and Central Dauphin, you've already beat.
Right.
So it's looking good. Looking good. For didn't you guys share a win last year at the conference?
We in 2024.
Oh,
we
okay.
split yeah, we shared the conference title with Cedar Cliff. Last year we finished 4th, and then right now we currently sit, I want to say, tied for 2nd. I see Dave's got a question on there.
Yeah.
They haven't had it the last 3 or 4 years, and the reason being is that it bunches up against the district playoffs. But from what I understand, they're going to try to bring it back next year. But not sure if you guys are aware, but we will not be in the Commonwealth next year. The Mid-Penn actually moved us to the Keystone because next year in baseball we'll actually be 5A.
I did not know that.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
Yep.
So Keystone next year. Interesting. Because softball's already there.
No, they're not. They're going with us. They're not there yet either. They're still in the Commonwealth.
I thought they were 5A already.
They're 5A, but they're still in the Commonwealth.
But they're still in the Commonwealth. Okay.
They're still in the Commonwealth, but they'll now go to the Keystone next year. But
Right.
You're right. They're 5A this year.
What do you think of that? Are you cool with 5A?
I mean, it is what it is. We didn't precipitate.
I mean, it's not like you can change it, but
no. We didn't precipitate the move. The Mid-Penn made the move, not us. So I think they wanted the Commonwealth to be a strictly 6A league, and so they're going to just leave the teams there. And I don't, to be honest with you, I don't think they moved anybody up. Because they moved Mechanicsburg up 2 years ago, because Mechanicsburg was 5A, they went to 6A, they bumped them to the Commonwealth, took them out of the Keystone, and now us moving back to the Keystone will be that counter move.
Gotcha. Got ya. What do you want to see from your guys now down the stretch here? Obviously wins, but I mean, you're getting close. End of the regular season, time to get into playoff mode. What do you want to see from your guys down the road here?
Well, you obviously you want to be peaking when you hit the playoffs, and there have been times in the last 2 weeks where I thought, boy, we've really played well. This is exactly how we need to play. But there's been some other times, particularly in the game against Latrobe on Friday, we were kind of asleep at the wheel on a few occasions. But I mean, all in all, I like where we are, and as long as our pitchers throw strikes, and I would consider our team to be an above average defensive team, and we're an above average pitching team. I don't know that we're an above average hitting team, but if we can throw strikes and play defense, we're going to be in every ball game we can get. And if we can string together a few more hits along with that same pitching and that same defense, we're going to be a tough out.
Awesome. I'm sorry, Kenny. Do you have something?
Now, do you? It seems like whenever I covered you guys against State College, you kids are always focused. And do you think they have they're zoned in now the rest of the way?
I would hope so. You were over there against State College in that game, and I thought we played pretty well. They executed 2 perfect safety squeezes in that game, and that's how they got both of their runs. They had 6 hits and 4 hits were in the infield. And so, if we can manage to string together a couple of hits, we win that game going away. But credit to them. They played well, and they deserve to win that game. But it wasn't necessarily because we played poorly. It was because they just played a little bit better than us. And they were disappointed after that game. There's no question about it. And a loss sometimes isn't a bad thing, especially if it can remotivate you to whatever cause it is you're trying to achieve. But I would prefer not to lose any more, because if we lose any more, we're kind of playing with fire, both with the number 1 seed in districts and then also our chances to win the Commonwealth.
For the pitching, you were saying it coming in. That was one of the spots that you were legitimately concerned about. Is it what do you think has made these guys, since they didn't have varsity experience, correct? As far as like starting on the mound. Right?
Well, so the most experienced pitchers we had coming back this year, at least the 3 guys that had the most innings were Parker Crownover, Madden Weaver, and Chase Hartung. And they all had some experience last year. Not a ton, but they had some. And I've watched Chase pitch for the last 5 or 6 years. He's always been a strike thrower. So he was probably the one I was least concerned about. I just didn't know Parker quite as much, and Madden was sort of coming back from some arm injuries, and so he didn't have a ton of innings last year. But what it also came down to was comparison to the 3 top innings guys we had last year were Aiden Ativo, Logan Alexander, Brady Hoppel, and those 3 pitchers combined for about 70 innings and about 17 walks. And so, I've always been of the mindset I mean, I like guys that throw hard, but at the same time, if they have a hard time controlling it, then it really doesn't do you a lot of good. And the thing that I've said to my coaching staff and is that, I really don't care how hard you throw if your last pitch is ball four. So, I mean, the velocity is important, but the strike throwing is more important. And our pitchers have done a pretty good job of that this year. Like I said, that was one of my bigger concerns, but these guys have kind of picked right up where last season's group left off, and I'm pretty pleased with that.
Yeah, I was going to say, what do you think made that difference? Where these guys, is it coaching, mentally, or all three? Like a certain out pitch. What made this staff perform maybe even better? What has made it perform maybe even better than you thought it would?
All right, I'll answer this in three parts. First of all, I've been talking about Madden, Parker, and Chase, but this goes down through all the way through the staff. I mean, even to some guys maybe that you haven't seen as much, like Wyatt, Jude Zook, Colin Bush. I mean, Liam Schaefer. I mean, those guys have gotten some innings too. But first of all, they've bought in, and they came in, and we had some arm training workouts back in the winter where we were just trying to build up some strength. They came in and threw their bullpens, and that has really helped. So player focused is number one. Number two, I feel like I have the best assistant coach, primarily pitching coach in our conference in Brett Leister. He works these guys hard. He makes sure that they're doing what they're supposed to be doing. And, he remains focused on that, and they buy into everything that he has them do. So that's number two. And number three, you have to have a good battery. And so Easton Lepley back there is about as good as they come as in terms of catchers in the league. And, if you got a guy back there that can buy you a couple of pitches in a game and get you a couple strikeouts, or maybe they allow you to throw that curveball that you bury in the dirt and you don't worry too much about it getting away and advancing a runner. I mean, Easton allows them to throw any pitch in any count and trust that the ball's not going to get away. And so, I think the answer is threefold, and they all have equal roles in what our pitching staff has become this year.
Wait, there's a question from Dave here. Hold on a minute. It's about the playoffs.
That is correct. Well, it says McDowell. It could be McDowell. It could be Erie High School. I think they're the only two. They're the only two 6A schools in District 10. So it's most likely going to be McDowell. Erie High doesn't exactly have a stellar program. It seems to be McDowell that comes out of there every year. But yes, there would be a sub-regional game before states for the District 6 and the District 10 winner.
If we get there, we haven't beat them yet. I don't think. What do we have to do to get over that hump with them?
Well, I felt like 2 years ago we were there. And if you talk to anybody on our team, players, coaches, whatever, we probably do more PFP, which is pitchers fielding practice. We do more of that probably than anybody in the league. I mean, we field bunts, we make throws, we do pickoffs, we really throw to a lot of bases. I feel like our pitchers are very prepared in that. And in that McDowell game, I believe we had a 5-3 or a 5-4 lead going to the seventh inning. And we made a mistake in that area, which we usually don't make. And I'm not going to certainly point fingers at who made the mistake or who, it's teams win and teams lose. But I felt like we had the better team that day. But unfortunately, you've heard the saying, baseball is a funny game, and, that's just baseball or whatever. And it's a play we make 999 times out of 1,000. And just that day we didn't. And it was disappointing. It was crushing. I felt terrible for the team, but it is what it is, I guess. You just gotta find a way to get over it.
Describe the personality and mental makeup of this group to you? I mean, every year is different. What are these guys like? What's the personality, the mental attitudes going on with this team?
They're pretty similar to my 2024 team. The 2024 team was very senior heavy, just like this one. They're a very loose bunch, and I've kind of, as the season went on, I've noticed that they play better whenever they're loose like that. And so, if you come to one of our games, you're gonna see them throwing footballs around. You're gonna see them playing hacky sack. You're gonna hear them playing music and having a good time. And frankly, let's face it, that's what it's about. These guys know how to enjoy themselves while they're at the game. And as long as they're getting the job done, I'm certainly not going to have a problem with that. And like I said, they seem to play better when they're loose. And they get along pretty well. And like I said, I don't know that I would necessarily call them a super tight knit bunch. I mean, there's a couple of guys that are pretty close, but they certainly like to have fun with each other while they're on the field. And I'm glad they're enjoying, especially if they're as a senior. I'm glad they're enjoying this because unfortunately this time goes by too fast.
Yeah, it does, doesn't it? We all know that. So no Barry Bonds is on the team. Nobody that I got to have my own dressing room.
No, we don't have too many guys like that. We're like I said, we're a pretty loose bunch.
Every team eventually they have definite leadership. Who are the leaders and how have they been this year with helping the coaches with this team?
Well, I would say if I had to pick out one guy that I felt like stands out, I would probably say Easton Lepley. And it's nice to have your catcher be that guy that's going to be your vocal leader. And he doesn't get down on too many kids, but he's also not afraid to step up and kind of tell them what needs to happen in order for us to be successful. And you've been around teams long enough to know that sometimes a coach's message gets a little bit stale. It never seems to get stale from a player. And we have a couple of other guys. Evan Strohecker's pretty good. He doesn't really say a whole lot. He leads a little bit more by example. Reese Christine a little bit like that too. But I mean, like I said, I would say Easton to me is kind of the guy. But Evan Strohecker, Reese Christine, even Lincoln Rubel to a certain extent have roles as leadership on the team that if we need to go to that I think those guys are more than willing to step up.
Getting this close now to the end of the season, do you and the coaches talk about playoff stuff, implications, or do you just one game at a time? One game at a time.
Well, a little bit of both, actually. I mean, I'm not a huge fan of trying to, look in the rearview mirror and see what everybody else is doing. But at the same time, it also forces us to be at our best. Altoona's won 3 in a row, and we know that if we slip up, they're going to leapfrog right over us, and we certainly don't want that to happen. So I'm not afraid to bring that up to our players and say, hey, look, you know what? These guys are nipping at your heels. We got to be our best today, and they've responded. And like I said, there's always games you have that you let get away or you don't play your best, and you wish you could have over again. But right now we've done a little bit more than Altoona and State College have, and I'm hoping we can keep it that way here for the last 10 days or so.
District 6, the championship, is it where are they playing that? Is that up in Altoona or?
It's going to be at Mount Aloysius again this year.
Oh, Mount Aloysius. Okay. That can get windy up there,
Yeah, just a little bit. If you've ever been to Crescent, summer doesn't exist up there. So
what I like to call hell on earth.
You know, that's near my old hometown, so I'm all too familiar with the weather up there.
I remember Franco and I were going up to St. Francis for playoffs basketball. Both Ivy and Lewistown were there. Right? It's raining in Altoona. We go up the mountain into Crescent, and it's like 6 inches of snow.
That's pretty typical.
We pulled off at a Unimart, and I got in, and I had to. I looked at the lady behind the counter, and I said, "How the hell do you live here?"
You got to be a tough hombre to live in Cambria County.
Yes.
I'll tell you that right now.
Crescent. I mean, it's like, welcome to hell. The weather is going to not cooperate with you.
Yeah, you have to go west on 22, probably another 30 to 40 miles until you drop down into Blairsville until the weather starts to get a little bit better again.
Yeah. But no, it's a nice place to play ball though, up at Mount
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. So you're coming down into the stretch like this, as we've already mentioned briefly. How important, obvious question, but how important is it to finish strong heading into the playoffs, to not like limp in, but be winning when you get in there?
Well, I certainly think it's probably bigger for your confidence, and baseball's rather unique from other sports in that, you know, you see this all the time, especially in larger districts when you have 16 teams or so get into a bracket where you'll have a number 16 team that'll have some lights out pitcher and they knock off the number 1 seed. I mean, I've seen it happen on literally hundreds of occasions. But if you're talking about basketball or football, that almost never happens. And so baseball becomes a little bit more unpredictable because it's so heavily dictated by your pitching. And for us, like, to me, it doesn't really matter who we have on the mound. It could be Parker, it could be Chase, it could be Madden, it could be Thad. I mean, we're gonna get almost the same results out of all 4 of those guys. So for me, you know, I want us to be peaking offensively and defensively because I know what I'm going to get out of my pitching. But yeah, I mean, it certainly bodes well for confidence. I mean, nobody wants to go into the playoffs on a losing streak, but your pitching can dictate so much of how you play. And so players and teams tend to play a lot of times a lot more confidently when they have their ace on the hill.
Well, you talked about pitching and you talked about hitting, but how is your defense this year? What are your feelings about your defense?
Well, we at the beginning of the year we were missing a couple of guys and we had to move some people around, and so the consistency wasn't quite there. And we had some new players at key positions which also needed to get worked out. But for example, we have a new shortstop this year, and it's a guy, it's Carl Shirey. He hasn't really played. He certainly never played a ton of infield at the varsity level before this year. So, we're going in thinking, okay, well, we've seen him on the field in JV. We've seen him in the summer. We think he can do it, but you want to make sure that you give a player enough reps so that you're not, you're making a judgment on real data and not just a game or two. But unfortunately, high school baseball is 5.5 weeks long. And so sometimes as a coach, you don't always have that luxury of giving guys weeks and weeks at a time to get acclimated. But I think we have the defense set up right now that we want. And we have some depth in a lot of those positions too. I mean, we have 3 guys that can play left field that I would be completely comfortable putting in. We have 2 or 3 guys at second base that I'm totally comfortable putting in there. Even a couple of guys at third that I'm pretty comfortable putting in. So even with moving parts, with different pitching and If something would happen, God forbid, we'd have a little bit of an injury or something of that nature. We have some depth at those positions that I feel like we'd be able to survive it.
How is your health now?
Right now, we're pretty good. Where the one guy we have that's been injured for the most part all year has been Carson Cherry, and I don't think there's any question. You ask anybody on the team, he would be in the lineup somewhere if he was healthy. He's got an issue with his hand, and he just kind of got it out of a cast here not too long ago. And whether or not he's able to come back this year if we make a long playoff run, I don't really know that answer. But I mean, we're certainly missing him offensively, but still, I mean, we've been able to weather the storm without him, and hopefully can continue to go forward as the rest of this year plays out.
I have a question with the postseason. When you go into the postseason, it's either going to be Altoona or State College. As a coach, is it easier to go up against a team for a third time or against a team that you haven't played yet this season?
I'll speak from my own point of view. I get really nervous playing those teams because I know what they can do. It doesn't necessarily mean what they've done again. It doesn't necessarily equate to what maybe they have done against us this year. But for example, I know the one player for Altoona, the McAllister boy who plays short and pitches a lot for them. But when we played Altoona last week, I want to say his batting average was right around 200, and I thought, boy, oh boy, he's batting fourth in the lineup. How is he 200? I mean, he's hit against us for 3 years, and sure enough, he ripped 2 balls against us last week when we played them. And so I tend to get a little bit more nervous whenever I play teams that I'm familiar with, even though we have plenty of scouting and lots of charts and we kind of know where they're going to go. I personally get nervous playing those guys just because I know the potential that they have.
Any crazy parents this year? Don't answer. Just kidding. Don't answer.
I'll be honest with you. It's been pretty good. Of course, there's going to be players that maybe are a little bit disappointed with their role. And unfortunately, that kind of comes with the job as a coach and the understanding that that's going to happen unless you have 9 guys on the team. And so I'm sure that there may be some disagreements, but I mean, you can disagree with me on, where somebody's hitting or disagree with me on whether or not somebody should be playing. I mean, that's perfectly within their rights to do that. But my coaching staff and I take a lot of time, and we chart things in practice, and we know what guys can do, and it's never a personal thing, and it's try to put the best 9 out there all the time. And like I said, coming into 2 or 3 years ago, we had I think 6 straight losing seasons or 5 straight losing seasons. We haven't had one since, and I'd like to say that I think we're doing okay.
Oh, you are, but
Definitely.
You play my kid, Hoppel. Stop playing favorites. Stop it.
Well, I true story here. One time, I had this was back in my Lewistown days, and I had a parent come up to me after a game that told me I was playing player X because I went to high school with his dad. And I said, I think you have me mistaken for somebody else because I didn't even go to high school in Mifflin County. And he said, yes, you did. You're so-and-so's son. I said, I don't even know who that is. I said, I don't know what you're talking about. And so, I mean, it happens, but it comes with the territory. And I'm certain, I mean, back in those days when I was a little younger and a lot less gray, I might have gotten a little bit more upset about that. But now it's just kind of, well, what are you going to do?
Gotcha. I know you have to deal with it. That's why I know I'm biased. That's why one of the other things I like about wrestling, there's no argument. You have eliminations. So if
I've had numerous conversations with track coaches in the past, and I'm like, I said it's nice to have a sport that's very objective and not subjective.
Yep.
And they agree with me. You can either run, jump, or throw, or you can't. So
Yes. And same with wrestling. You're going against the guys at your weight. If you can't
Yep.
beat them, you ain't getting in. So there's no parents. Oh, I'm sure parents will try to argue.
yeah, it's part of it.
Okay. Enough of that. Just having a little fun.
That's okay.
Is there like a moment this season where you felt, okay, yep, this team has grown up. It's there. It's where it's getting where we need it to be. Was there one moment, or is it just how it's played out over the course of the season?
I mean, it's probably a little bit of both. I I felt like we were really teetering on heading down the wrong way after our loss to Cedar Cliff at home. I mean, we got beat. I want to say it was 7-1 or 7-0 in the first game, and we just didn't have a lot of energy, and we just sort of let them take it to us. And I felt a little bit. I was a little bit nervous at that point because I could almost feel our season kind of getting away from us at that point. I think that made us 1-3. But then we came out in that second game and we did almost the exact same thing to them. And I felt a little bit better. I mean, we still had our moments, but if I want to look at another moment, I think we had an absolutely putrid first inning at Cumberland Valley. And I think we made 3 or 4 errors in the first inning. And we were down 4-0 against a kid who had a sub-2 ERA. And I wasn't liking our chances. There was rain on the way. We managed to put 4 runs on the board in the top of the 5th and take the lead. We got a big home run from Carl Shirey that day. And I felt like that's kind of catapulted us a little bit too. There's certainly some other moments that I can probably point to if I think a little harder, but those two seem to stand out to me.
When you think of this team after 14 games played, what are you most proud of right now?
Their fight. We've been trailing on several occasions to good teams, and we found a way to come back and win. And last night was one of them. I mean, Chambersburg's winning the league right now. We were down 2-0 going to the bottom of the 5th, and it looked like that inning was going to go pretty quiet. First 2 guys got out. All of a sudden, we get a couple of walks, and then a double and a single, and all of a sudden, we're up 3-2. So, I mean, we could have certainly folded up shop and gone down, but we didn't. We fought back, and our energy level has been our energy in the dugout has been on a different level in the last probably 2.5, 3 weeks. And that's made a big difference for us playing with energy. I mean, we've said both at practice and in pre-games, like we cannot let the other team out energy us. I mean, we've got to win that battle. And the games that we've done that, we've won.
Do you like this little layoff here? You don't have to play till Monday.
Sometimes I do, not always, but I mean, we obviously wouldn't have played today. I mean, we went inside and hit today. But at the same time, a little break in midseason isn't too bad, especially last week. Last week we had 4 games in 4 days. So, I mean, in that respect, we probably needed the break. I would have liked to have played maybe tomorrow or Friday, but I mean, it is what it is. I mean, we still got 3 big ones next week, regardless of whether we would have had a game today or tomorrow or not. But we'll use that to try to get better and keep our guys sharp and hopefully be as best prepared as we can be for Monday, because that's going to be a biggie.
Everybody goes through adversity that in a season. It just happens. What do you feel this team has learned and fought through? And the big teaching point this season when it comes to like how they faced adversity?
Well, I mean, every player on the team has had a stretch where they've struggled, whether it be, defensively or at the plate or from the mound or whatever. But they've all managed to they've all managed to come out of it. And to me, baseball is not necessarily about failure. It's about how you respond to it, because everybody's going to fail. I mean, you see guys that are playing in Cal Ripken or playing in Babe Ruth, and they're batting 650, 700. All right, let's just go on the record here and say, you know what? If you're playing in the Mid-Penn Commonwealth, you're not batting that high. That's just the way it is. I mean, every team has guys that are throwing 85 miles an hour plus. You're going to see good velocity. You're going to see a bunch of strike throwers. You're going to see great defense, even on teams that don't have the best records. And so if you think you're going to come into this league and hit 600-700, just leave your stuff at the door. Don't even bother, because you're going to have to learn how to deal with failure. And I told the guys that back in January. I'm like, you know what? Learn how. It's okay to fail. It's okay to fail. What's going to define you is how you respond to it. And we had a couple of guys that really struggled to start the year, but are starting to kind of come out of it right now, which is awesome, because we're getting so close to districts. And that's your hope as a coach, that even though the season is short, that they can persevere and stay with things and manage to rebound from that, because, like I said, your team's only going to be as good as how these guys are, coming out of slumps, because they're all going to slump. It happens. And so it's not that I will necessarily lose confidence in them, but it's whether or not they're going to lose confidence in themselves. And it's easy for me as a coach to say, stay confident, than it is for them to do it. But we certainly try to encourage that in them from day one.
We got Bobby Fisher in the house.
I'm looking forward to it too, Bobby. We've been we've been filling the hill here for the last couple of weeks, and so we certainly appreciate all the fan support that we're getting. And we have our Facebook page and our X page that we try to keep updated as much as possible, and we certainly like to hear from our fans. And Aiden Stevens does our live streams, and we've been having 200 plus people sometimes being in on those live streams at a time. So I mean, it's been the fan support has been great. So thank you, Bobby. I appreciate that.
Yeah, he's really done a good job there when I was at State College. He's acts like a pro. I mean, he's very smooth on the T, or on, was it the stream? Yeah.
Yeah, he's kind of become he's become almost like a player on our team. I mean, if you watch, he sets the camera up and he takes a break in between innings, and I mean, he leaves the camera and comes over and high fives us when we come in from the inning. So
nice.
He's been awesome to have around.
My final question: if this team is playing its best baseball over the next week, 2 weeks, what is that going to look like?
If we play how we know how to play, we're going to be in the state playoffs. You can mark it down, because
there we go.
Nice.
I'm not afraid. I am not afraid to say that at all. I am not afraid to say that. If we play our game, we will be there. Now, obviously, there's lots of factors that can happen that would prevent that. Maybe we run into a hot pitcher, or we don't play the defense, or we have trouble throwing strikes. But I am confident in my guys. I am 100% confident in them. And I'm not trying to say that to sound arrogant by any stretch of the imagination at all. I'm saying that because I know what we have. I know what we're capable of. And I would hope that Turtle Smith and Altoona and the coaches up at State College would say the same thing. You got to have confidence in your guys, and I have the utmost confidence in mine.
You arrogant bastard, Hoppel. I'm just.
Hey, you know what?
I'm just.
You know what? I have always said funny story here. When we took over, when our coaching staff took over the team in the summer of 2023, and we started having some open fields that fall, the seniors in that group were guys like Xavier Smith and Landon Eichhorn and Doug Weaver and Ryan Kanegi, if you remember those guys. And and one of the things that I said to them was, I'm like, look, guys, I said, I'm done. I'm done winning. I'm done with the sportsmanship award for the league. I'm done with it. I said, not that I don't want you to be unsportsmanlike. That's not the point. But they tend to give that trophy to the team that finishes toward the bottom. We are done with that. We're not winning that anymore. I mean, if we win it and they give it to us because we're winning the league, that's wonderful. But I said, there is nothing wrong with playing with a little edge, and you do not let people push you around. And so when it might sound a little bit arrogant, that's not how I want it to be. I just want our guys to play with the confidence and know that they can beat any team on our schedule.
Right, and that's what you do.
Definitely.
And then you also get metal spikes and tell them to do the Ty Cobb slide. Feet up.
Yeah. We haven't done that yet. That might cost me some points on my coaching evaluation. So we're not going to go.
Yeah. Feet up. Hey, Josh Yoder in the house. He is saying the modern thing. Sup, coach.
Sup, coach. Yes.
Sup.
Josh and I go way back. He donned the blue and white pinstripes for me at Lewistown back in the day. So always good to see Josh.
I didn't play baseball. I couldn't hit a baseball.
You were still at our Lewistown games, though.
Oh yeah, but I couldn't hit. I enjoy baseball. Couldn't hit the damn thing worth any. I made Mario Mendoza look like a hitter. So I didn't play in the spring in high school. I believe it or not, I actually did tennis, Ray.
Well, no
offense to those guys.
Niche, Brian.
No offense to those guys. I didn't like track. I wanted to do something in the spring to keep me in shape for wrestling. So right. I did tennis. In the fall, I did. The fall was football and then wrestling. But, man, baseball. I tried it 1 year. I think I hit maybe .97. I didn't even break 100.
I've always found that baseball players tend to transfer their skills to other sports pretty easily, but a lot of other sports have a hard time hitting baseballs.
Yeah, it's hard. And then I read Ted Williams' Art of Hitting, and he said, when the ball came out of the pitcher's hand, he could see the laces and everything. I'm like, my God.
Yeah, he had some Hawkeye eyesight. So I wasn't, most of us weren't gifted that year. That much.
Bobby.
I appreciate that, Bobby. I hope you're right.
Coach, thank you. I appreciate you coming on.
Thanks,
I
Ray.
appreciate you guys having me.
It's been fun. Hopefully, and I think you can too. You'll have to come back when you make it to state, and we could talk about that and how you're gonna win some state games too. Hopefully,
we are way overdue.
We appreciate it, and great job. The stats back it up from what from what Mifflin County baseball had been for a while till now, night and day. That's because of you and your staff. And keep up the good work, and we appreciate you coming on always.
Well, I appreciate the kind words, and like I said, the staff has been awesome, the kids have been awesome, and hopefully we can take this to the next step.
All right, my friend. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, Ray.
Yep.
It's Ray Hoppel, Mifflin County baseball coach. the pride of Northern Cambria. Yes. Thank you, buddy.
All right, you betcha.
So let me tell you something here, Kenny. Something personal.
Okay.
I mean, I don't tell this to a lot of people, but if you don't know, I had like about a year ago, my right leg
I
had.
was just doing a podcast and I just saw this message. Period.
Wait,
I'm not going to
Hold
lie.
on.
I have considered moving some people up.
that's personal. We better. I
Yeah.
gotta try to get.
Hey, Ray. Ray.
Hold on, I'll get them.
Okay.
We'll just.
There we go.
I removed them. There we go. That was some private stuff.
Mm.
So a lot of people might not know it, but about a year ago, I had to have my right leg below the knee amputated because of a bad infection due to diabetes. And I finally had an appointment. I got out of the house finally, Kenny,
Nice.
and went up to Pleasant Gap, the Hanger Clinic, and they gave me a shrinker. They got to, like, I guess, shrink down my stump so I could get into my artificial leg. But the point that's absolutely freaking cool about it, get ready.
Yeah.
They're going to do this for me. My leg, my artificial leg is going to have the LA Ram logo
Oh, wow.
on
Nice.
it. They are going to design, they took a picture of it. They're going to put the Rams logo plus, with the helmet. And they're going to put the one. Did you ever see the ram head, like the goat head?
Yeah. Yeah.
They're doing that one too.
Oh, wow.
So my fake leg is going to be Rams, baby. Rams.
That is cool.
Isn't that great?
That is. You're getting closer to getting back out.
Thanks,
beat,
Bobby.
right?
Yeah. I mean, hopefully, they gave me some encouragement that I needed. I haven't had in a long time. They told me they actually think that with the intense rehab and the leg, and I might, because my neuropathy, my diabetic neuropathy is so bad, I might need to have a brace on my left leg. So I'll look funny, but I might be walking again. And that's
awesome.
That's awesome. So yeah.
Congrats. That's great. And how long were you in your house before you got a chance to get out? This was a heck of a long time, wasn't it?
It was. We had the appointment yesterday, and believe it or not, that's the first time I had been out of my house in almost a year.
Wow.
And we have these. It's called SkyMed. They came up from Carlisle, right? Because I had to go in an ambulance because my wheelchair I have can't get out my front door. So they're enlarging my front door so I can get out. But these guys were so nice when they found out that I hadn't been out that long and it was sunny and beautiful, And when I was done with my appointment, but before they put me in the van, back in the van, they let me stay out a little bit outside to let the sun and everything.
Awesome.
And it was awesome. I was taking deep breaths and I loved it. It was great to get out. But announcement we have here. Guess what? Tonight's a first.
Ooh.
For the first time, we are now broadcasting on Twitter as well.
Nice.
So now it's going live on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter.
Hey, we're taking over the airwaves.
You bet, baby. And I know you told me you got a boatload of shout outs we're going to
Oh
get to.
yeah. Okay.
First, we do it every year, every segment now, every show.
Every night, two men try to solve sports loudly, without a pause. But when the takes get hotter, something happens. They become the press box. Breaking down games, calling out nonsense, and somehow getting it right. The Press Box, sports talk with superpowers.
Yeah. Yeah.
Love it.
Superpower. You too, Josh. Take care. All right, so we have to do our shout outs with Ken. Let me bring up his card here. And we'll bring in Barry White to introduce Kenny and his shout outs. Good old Barry.
Hey there, baby. Welcome to Kenny's Shoutouts on the Press Box. I'm so glad you could join me tonight. Just sit back, relax, and let that sweet, sweet vibe wash all over you. We've got a lot of love to share.
All right, my friend, it's your turn. Go.
Okay, we'll start out. Congratulations and a big shout out to Ange Deemer and her Harrisburg Havoc.
The Havoc.
Yes, opened up with a home win and fighting the elements as well as the Buffalo Blizzard. They defeated them 14-6 at home. So congratulations, Harrisburg Havoc, 1-0 on the season. Congratulations, major shout out to the Mifflin County DMR boys relay team.
How about it?
The group competed at a prestigious pen relay competition Friday afternoon. The finish was a meet record and school record of 9 minutes 54 seconds and 0.01 at Franklin Field in Philadelphia. The group consisted of Reese Cubison, Connor Lynch, Wyatt Kaufman, and Carter Smith. So names that we've heard constantly the last 3+ years. So great job, guys.
Yes.
You did a great story on it.
Thank you.
Mhm. And you got it was just like being there. So I really enjoyed your story,
I
Brian.
appreciate that, Kenny.
So a sub shout out to you.
Okay, I'll take it.
Hey, I'm just going to town with shout out, so I figured I'd throw you in there too. Next one is to Tanner Engel, junior wrestler.
How about him?
Yeah, has been selected to represent Pennsylvania at the 14U national team freestyle Greco, where he will compete in Wesley Chapel, Florida in June. Congratulations. This one is a long time coming. Congratulations and shout out to the Mifflin County Girls Lacrosse team. Notched their first victory yesterday or on Monday, defeating CD East 7-4. So hopefully that's the turnaround, and things will start going, for next year. So congratulations. Shout out to Bald Eagle area wrestler Dawson Lamison. She's been selected to represent Team Pennsylvania at the Junior National Duels in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Dawson will be with the team in Wisconsin for 6 days and will compete June 15th through the 20th. So awesome
Yes.
feat. Next up, shout out to Phillipsburg softball player McKenna Thorpe. She's the latest addition to the Luna Bombers. Must be a nickname for the team, as a 3-run home run as Pio got the win over Chestnut Ridge yesterday. So, congratulations. I think this is a first, too. Shout out to Kylie Cubison, Reese's sister. Um, Kylie was elected Bowling Green uh, Female Athlete of the Year and Senior Scholar Athlete of the Year. She has tremendous ethic in the classroom and in her sports. Uh, the awards were well deserved. So, congratulations,
Yes,
Kylie.
absolutely.
And I believe, unfortunately, uh, her college career has been 4 years, and she is done. So we won't be talking about her quite as much. But what a career! I mean, she's and what a family, you know.
Yeah, and her mom told me she plans to do. She plans to keep running, to keep doing
Nice.
events and stuff. So
Mm,
that's good, you know.
yes, a very quiet kid. Very Very nice, very laid back. Okay. Shout out to Penn College's Taylor Brown from Belfont, banged out her 41st hit in her freshman season, including 2 home runs in Penn's win over Keystone. So
Nice.
congrats. Shout out to um, Natalie Fleck as the Mounties beat Juniat 11-0. She went 3 for 3 to plate and her first career home run. The Mounties are currently 9-1 on the season. Wow, no one expected that. That's from where it started. Things started a little rough there, off the field at the beginning of the year. Looks like corrected itself. So congratulations. Uh, Another one, shout out to Bald Eagles Gage Gardner, who signed a letter of intent to play at Lock Haven for football. Um, a shout out to State High grad Ava Babcock. Was perfect to play to end the regular season for um, Swarthmore as they swept Dickinson College. And that, after about 5 minutes, is all my shout outs and congratulations.
Awesome. Awesome.
Yes.
So yeah, it is different. I bet you you know, with the Cubisons. I bet you
Mhm.
Todd didn't run like that.
Oh yeah, you did. um, Todd and I grew up. We were best friends
Yeah, I
growing
know
up,
that.
and
I bet you didn't run that well.
no, 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 no. And it was for short spurts. He was more of a
A sprinter.
speedy, yeah. So to see the long distance is kind of funny to see because we could never catch him playing football. Um, and I'm just like with Kylie, no one hardly catches her. So, um, yeah. So
Man, did you watch that DMR run?
a little bit, yeah. I caught the M part.
I got to give, I mean, everybody knew Carter was going to explode like he does.
Hmm.
But Wyatt Kaufman, to close that gap like he did,
Mm-hmm.
you know, before
Mm-hmm.
getting the baton to Carter was something. The way he closed the gap,
Mm-hmm.
he really did. It was nice, and it's like, you know, it's a team thing there. It's all four. I mean, don't get me wrong. Carter's a great athlete,
oh yeah.
and he just did. You see how bad he blew them out?
Hmm. I
But it
like
was,
the little hammer there move at the end as he cut through the ribbon.
I mean, you know, he's something special. But it was like I approached it by writing it like it's got to be it's a team.
Mhm.
It's a team. It's
Yeah.
not one guy. You know, and
Yep.
I don't want to write it that way because I knew there would be people who write it would always like start with Carter Smith.
Mhm.
And that's what happened in our local paper that I won't mention.
Mm.
Carter Smith. Well, it was a damn team,
Mhm.
not just Carter Smith.
No,
I
it's
mean,
that's what a good team does. You know, one
I
person
mean
may not be
Carter
having.
Smith. Yes, Carter Smith's a
Yeah.
damn superstar, but
Mhm.
this is a team thing.
Mhm.
To me, if you lead with just one guy, it insults the other three.
Yes. Yeah.
That's my opinion.
Mhm.
I led with the whole team.
Mhm. Can I tell you an embarrassing moment with those guys?
Yeah.
I was at the parade there, and um, it was at the high school. They were having a little bit of a reception, and I went up to shake everybody's hand, and I shook the coach's hand, and I I went to shake the four guys' hands, and here there was a kid in the middle. I didn't even look. I just went to shake their hands, and I shook this kid's hands that he wasn't even in on the team. And I looked up, and they were all laughing at me, and it's just like, dude, how do
It's
you get
all
out of that?
right.
Yeah,
We all
so
do it. We all do it. Let me tell you mine then,
okay.
that you told me yours.
Mm,
I was up for there was the year before COVID. I was stringing for Bloomsburg, covering Penn State wrestling,
mhm,
and it was the preseason, the press conference, media day for wrestling, and I go up to put my tape recorder on the desk where Kale's going to speak, and I go back to set my seat, and there's a lady in it, and I said, "Excuse me, you're in my seat.
mhm.
Could you please move?" And she moved, and somebody told me, "Do you know who that was?" And I'm like, "Who?" And he goes, "That's Sandy Barber, the athletic director
Oh
at
my.
Penn State." And I kicked her out of my seat. And
Dang.
I went over afterward and said, "I'm so sorry." And she's like,
Mm.
"Don't worry about it. I was in your seat." But I'm like, "Oh my God, here's the athletic director." And I'm telling her to get out of my seat. I didn't know who she was.
Mm.
Yeah. Yeah. That was my moment.
Mm.
But no, you know, a lot of credit they deserve. And,
Mhm.
you know, it was, I mean, they beat the record by 3 seconds, which is an eternity in track. The
Mm.
old record was 9:57.
Mhm.
So they might have this one for a while.
Nice.
I don't know.
Is it too early to start thinking possibilities of like? Now I don't know how this works with um, the DMR, but is there a possibility they could qualify as a team for the Olympics? Is it too early to think that?
I don't, I think, I don't know. I think there's, I, I don't know. I don't know. High school kids, I mean, I guess they could be
Mhm.
allowed, but I think the possibility is very intriguing because if the relay team, it isn't DMR out at Hershey, I mean, at Shippensburg,
Mhm.
but Ray Wild and I were talking about this. There's a chance if Carter wins his two events again,
Mhm.
and if he has the stamina to compete in the relay and that stuff, and Kaufman and Cumberson could like medal. They could win the team state championship.
Wow.
When did you ever think we'd be saying that a Mifflin County team could win the state championship in track?
That's
in track.
Mm.
But it's possible.
Yeah.
It is.
Mm-hmm. Boy, that'd be just like, how huge would that be? I mean, to me that would be bigger than the girls making it to the States.
It's big.
Yeah.
It's big. It is.
And the only reason I say that is nobody thought, well, you could tell whenever whenever Krista was coming up through that she was something special, for the girls.
But yeah, it's like, I mean, they've set records now at nationals, at indoor, and Penn relays outdoor. So it isn't a fluke,
right?
At all. These guys are legit. I don't know, Bobby. Did we miss a shout out on Bobby?
Oh, I'm sorry, Bobby. Yeah, he medaled in swimming along with his sister, and I don't have the name of the other two offhand, but they competed in sectionals at St. Francis recently and came back with medals.
Way to go, Bobby!
And they might be heading to the States with that. So
cool.
Yeah.
I don't have a body for swimming. I have a body for sinking. Well, yeah, it was a good sports week. A lot of shout outs.
Yeah.
We're getting close to having playoffs. I mean, unfortunately, team wise for us this year,
yeah,
there isn't many that can make a noise. I don't think. I mean, I know Mifflin County baseball can.
Yeah.
And I know Phillipsburg. I mean, Bald Eagle softball could, but I don't think they'll beat Phillipsburg.
Yeah, that's
in district in 3A. I don't think they will.
Yeah, not this year. It'll be close, but they're still. They got two pitchers this year, and they're both good, but nothing like the Phillipsburg has been playing.
Yeah,
they've been playing lights out.
Because I saw before we got on, I wanted to see the District 6 rankings, and Phillipsburg is 12-1. And they're number 2. Bedford is the only 3A team in District 5. So they're in with 6, and Bedford's 14-0. But you got to think, though, 5A, Bedford isn't playing the schedule that Phillipsburg is.
Yeah.
At all. So I think that record's misleading. And so I think, Phillipsburg is probably the favorite in 3A. Wouldn't you agree?
Oh, yeah, definitely. And that's nice to see that. Hopefully those two will play again, because they had there for a while, for a few years, it was them and Bald Eagle back and forth. It was quite the rivalry. It was kind of funny then whenever their coach Jim Gonder retired and he went over to help out Bald Eagle. So and he's there right now. So,
but it's good to it's good to see it. Softball. I don't have to tell you, softball's always been big in Center County.
Oh yeah,
and Bellefonte too has been good, and Penns Valley's down this year.
Very down.
They only got one win.
Yeah.
But Bellefonte's still decent. Bald Eagle, Phillipsburg. So unfortunately for Mifflin County, they'll probably enter the playoffs. I would. Why not? But they're only 3-10. They have struggled.
Yeah, and it's same for the Juniata teams. They've been hit hard this year.
Yeah, but you don't sink, Bobby. I sink. I sink. You could, Maria. You know, I think, you know, that's cool if you can do it. Me and swimming, What about you, Kenny?
No, I just stand in the water in the summer. I don't swim. At our age, you know, the thing I worry about the most, if I exercise too hard, you know, have a cardiac arrest with as big as I've gotten. So we'll stay away from that.
We got thumbs up. Thank you, Bobby Fisher.
Nice.
Ambergini are regulars and Ed Stewart. And
nice.
May 9th, I know you'll cover it, Kenny. His son Joe's going into the Hall of Fame.
Yes. Going to be a fun night. A lot of good people.
Well deserved going into the Hall of Fame. Last year you took a picture with Messenbrink. I think you know, I don't know why you didn't try to take him down.
Well, that's a funny story too. Is I didn't know who he was at first. Kathy Reed, my photographer, said, "Hey, get your picture taken." I'm like, "Okay," and they stood him beside me. I didn't know who he was until he was doing his speech and his story up front in front of the whole group, because he had glasses on and he was shorter than I thought he would be. And it was like, oh shit, that was no way. Yeah.
That is the best wrestler in the country. Yeah.
Yeah. So this year they got Jerry Cooney this year.
Yeah, Jerry Cooney's you old timers. Jerry Cooney's gonna speak at the Hall of Fame. I love it.
And that was Holmes that he went up against, wasn't it?
Yeah, he could tell us what it felt like to be blasted by Larry Holmes. You know, I still look back at it. Can't believe Larry Holmes was champion that long.
Well, with that body too, there wasn't much muscle on there, was there? I mean, there must have been enough, but he looked so out of shape.
Not to take anything away from him, but it wasn't like his run didn't have the kind of, like in the 70s when Ali, Frazier, Norton, Foreman, Ron Lyle, these guys were. The heavyweight division was loaded with killers, man.
Yeah, and who did Ali finally fall to? Leon Spinks.
Leon Spinks. That was just he was old and he didn't know it, but the Parkinson's was starting. They all stay too young, old, you know.
Yeah.
Some not. Some were smart, like Floyd Mayweather. And then now Terrence Crawford. He beats Canelo Alvarez and retires undefeated. He has nothing left. He has nothing left to prove.
Yeah.
But hey, so that's going to do it, I think. Kenny, what do you think?
Yeah, we got. I just maybe next week we can delve into the PIAA and what they've been up to.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah.
Why not? It's always interesting what the PIAA does. Their thought processes. But yeah, everybody, thank you for coming on tonight. We appreciate it. Thank you for listening. And without you guys, we don't have a show. So
definitely.
That's going to wrap it up for tonight for Kenny V. I'm Brian Carson. Thank you for listening, everybody. We will see you next week. Have a great rest of your week and an even better weekend.
Good night, everybody.
You've been listening to The Press Box with Brian Carson and Kenny Varner. Tune in next week for another episode of The Press Box.